Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm back with Whoopie 2. We just got out of a conference tournament, or CCS Invitational tournament game. Now we're back for conference play. Big Ten, Illinois takes on Nebraska, the Cornhuskers from Lincoln, Nebraska takes on the Fighting Illini of Illinois from Springfield, Illinois. Whoopie, how's it going?
It's going well, Nation. I think, we're back in the booth quickly here, and we have a matchup. When we saw the schedule, I knew this one was one I circled on, highlighted, exclamation mark. This is going to be a fun one.
And Nebraska leads this series all time 2-0 over Illinois. We'll see what happens tonight. They've been the underdog in both those games, by the way, so it looks like the players are just going to join. Let's go down to the field, Wolfie. Game 1, Nebraska, Illinois.
Well, tonight we'll see if the Cornhuskers come out here, and this is where they're going to say, hey, we got to get shucking early. We have to find a way to allow ourselves to get some momentum. First 5 minutes underway, and we'll see who can find a way to dominate. Game 1, it's about, applying pressure early and, making the adaptation throughout the course of the series. I think it's going to be a fun one. Again, I'm looking for, anything and everything in this series. I'm excited to see what happens. Well, the action starting off quickly. This one by Peace will try and get out of a corner here. We'll just go into a 50. And this is where we're going to have to see how teamwork really comes into a play. We saw it, I believe it was last weekend, how well the passing plays really came alive, found ways to really find rhythm, and more importantly, really try to stretch this defense out thin.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, the overlay's wrong. I'm trying to fix that. We're talking Wolfie, but again, I'm excited to see what happens. This is a fun series. These two teams are both really, really good.
Well, both these two teams trying to show their prowess. Prism going to put this right back into a corner. This will just go off to Peaceful, trying to see if he can make it to his namesake, but won't be able to find too much as Boost starting to become a concern here early in the first 60 seconds. And this is where these two teams are going to have to find a way to really allow themselves to not overcommit too much. And we're seeing them a bit into a position where there's kind of hogging up some space for the defense, for their teammates here. But this is where, as a squad, especially for Illinois, you have to capitalize that off Nebraska. The big demo, open looks, but Peaceful, the last man back, putting up the shields. Not trying to let that one go in for free.
Not at all. 3.5 to go here for Nebraska, Illinois. Both remain tied at 0. But Wolfie, first 90 seconds, what do you like early if you're Nebraska? Things have changed. There's an own goal.
Well, Nebraska has been taking it to. They've taken their time. I think I've seen around 3 musties in the last 30 seconds. Showing off the mechanics, showing off the skills. These two teams are ready to battle it out.
That they are. And what a way to start things off with an own goal. Just nothing more ironic than that.
And this is where the championship mentality comes into a big play, and when you're trying to allow yourself not to allow stuff like that to really get into the back of your head, Nation, this is where you are able to bait off a big 50, but the defense says no.
And Nebraska comes off a 3-0 loss earlier in the night to South Carolina. Again, they're coming off a loss, and they responded well so far, up 1-0, but how long can the lead hold? We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Well, trying to hold a firm grip. This one off the bat, we won't be able to find too much. Almost finding ourselves into the halftime here in game number 1. And Nation, we know game number 1, just allowing yourself to get into rhythm, see what the opposition is going to throw at you. But the demo's coming out heavy-handed. And no, he says, nobody back. Let me find it through.
And he does. Nebraska 2-0 in the lead, 2:39 to play. And Wolfie, this is the complete turnaround than what Sleeper and I just watched 30 minutes ago with South Carolina. The defense was constantly under pressure. They couldn't transition to offense at all. They were completely pinned. But so far right now, they have transitioned well. They're making Illinois pay for their mistakes. The defense perfect so far tonight.
Well, the past is the past, trying to make the future a new day, promising. Trying to live up to the name here. We'll just take him away quickly. It will allow for Korea to try to work back on his offensive effort. But no, he so far has been the star here from Nebraska.
2:15 to go so far, Wolfie. Again, it's game 1. Illinois will adjust, and Peaceful's a heck of a player. I know you're familiar with Peaceful, but this Illinois team, it's led by Peaceful, but he's got great supporting cast in Prism and Ocho, but again, Peaceful has to come alive tonight. So, you can't win these bigger games with your star player doing nothing.
Exactly, and this is where you have to find a way to allow for the adjustment periods, and this is where after this first game, you kind of come in here and say, what can we get done? As that one able to get it done, they said, Nation, give us a second. A beautiful pass, a 1-2-3 play by everybody on the Illinois side.
There's the first of the night. Ocho gets it started for the Fighting Illini. 147 remains. Will be plenty of time for a comeback.
Oh, and I feel this is where Nebraska right now, you have to just keep this team at bay. Don't allow for too many mistakes. At this level of Rocket League, one mistake allows yourself to pay, and it's all Illinois needs just to try to tie things up. As Creed able to get the save here, will just be a contested ball here on the side of Nebraska. A long clear, but taken away by Peaceful, but it will be left here towards mid.
Minute 20 to go. Time becoming a factor for Illinois. Nebraska's defense, again, much better so far in this series than in the last series of South Carolina. But just over a minute to go, Wolfie. Things looking great for the Cornhusker defense. They've really had almost complete control. The passing lane is wide open more for Nebraska, too. We saw a give-and-go attempt there, but it was a disconnection. But, again, it's a better start to the game and a better start to the series if this defense finds pivotal moments there and open. Break, make it 3-1.
That's beautiful there by Promising. He caught the defense out. They had to have done something. It was just everybody go on this side of Illinois. But Nebraska said the only pick we're going is up. And that's going to put them up by 2 here in the final 53.
I'm glad for Nebraska was able to turn things around from the last series and look ahead to a new slate with Illinois. It's hard to, get swept and go right into a new series, Wolfie, and have, a new mentality on what's going to happen. I think Nebraska have done so well, at least so far tonight, with coming into a new series after a 3-0 loss and responding well to adversity. They're up to a 3-1 start here, and you're, again, delaying Peaceful a lot, too. You're not really letting him take over, which is a great sign going forward for Nebraska.
Well, I think for Nebraska, it's just one where, this team wanted some redemption. And, when you look at a squad who, like you mentioned, didn't have the best of days. Did a beautiful job there by Creed. With arms wide open, he saves them.
15 to play. Peaceful across open territory. No one there in Nebraska will cover the clear. That'll do it for game number 1. Barring a miracle, Wolfie, Nebraska will lead 1-0.
Well, this is where the Cornhuskers will let one more in. Peaceful able to just notch one in there, and just some last minute momentum there for themselves.
Well, you get one for the road. It's good morale booster going into game 2, and you take a 2-0 2-goal deficit into a 1-goal difference to close out regulation. Game 2, we'll see if Illinois can respond.
And I think this is where Illinois, you kind of just saw a bit of what Nebraska came out, especially aggressively. But the defensive side here, by knowing Creed, that had to be one of those where I understand, we put those 2 goals in, but they worked so well in tandem. I would give them both co-MVPs, but you're seeing the shots. Both these 2 offenses are ringing them through. 10 shots for the side of Nebraska to the 10 shots of Illinois. It was just the efficiency that really was a difference for Nebraska, as well as their patience.
Yeah, back in season 3 when Nebraska made their glory run, and even last season too, their offense was ran through Noe and Creed. It was constantly give and go. Promising would hold the defensive line, and Noe and Creed would just absolutely demolish anybody in their way. So again, if they can get back to that level in terms of their offensive efficiency, teams could be in trouble this season playing Nebraska. They are a team you do not want to overlook. This is a dang good Cornhusker team.
Well, the Cornhuskers trying to continue getting them out of the way. Will Illinois be able to stand up and fight here tonight? And I think this is that game for Illinois. You need game 2. And as much as you want to say, hey, it doesn't matter what happens, we can take them any game. Going down 2-0 and trying to go for the reverse sweep, it's not done too often, but this team trying to make sure that narrative doesn't have to happen yet.
4:40 left to play in Illinois. Need a big win here, Wolfie, in game 2 to get this series back to level. Create a double attempt. No good. Ocho will cover the line. Promising launching forward. Prism left by himself. The clear will come through for the Fighting Illini.
I like the way the defense just able to get back peacefully. Didn't seem like they tried to work too much off of that, but Promising leaving it. May have just been faking there for Creed. A double tap will not come. This will allow for Noe to try to take on possession. Big chase here, but giving it up to a teammate.
First minute almost has come and gone off the clock, and again, Nebraska feel like they're already in control again, Wolfie, in game 2, as they've had a lot of offensive opportunities already. The defense has not felt too much pressure. They've got midfield control in terms of clears and boost control as well, and things are just going really, really, really well for Nebraska currently.
Well, this is how I felt the first game kind of played in the first 60 seconds. We just kept seeing big long clears, trying to see if they can catch this defense out of rhythm. And for Illinois, they may have been able to pick up on that where they once were hurt from it. They've been able to remedy it, but this is still a great team in Nebraska that I feel are going to open it up with some big passes later into this game.
3.5 to go. Peaceful flip reset. He'll take his time. The shot is no good. It's saved on the goal line. Rebound. Good for Prism. Almost a huge stand for Nebraska.
Oh my goodness. I was about to say, how much can Nebraska get away with? We saw them in goal line saves all in that last game. But they want the superstar Hudson and Miku to come sing the song of victory, at least play a couple notes to it. That's going to give them a 1-0 lead. But, oh man, that took away what could have been a beautiful clip.
That really could have. I mean, that defensive save was incredible by the first defender, but the rebound was there before the defense could adjust. But 3:14 to play. Illinois finally have a lead tonight.
Oshun trying to find a teammate mid, will not be able to find too much. And this is where we saw this team utilize the outside in plays quite a bit in game number 1. This is where I kind of want to see them stretch the middle of the field a bit more. I've seen Nebraska kind of using that to their advantage, but my only issue is that, common Rocket League 1-on-1, this is going to allow yourself to be safe as much in the corner as this one will just get into a corner for Nebraska.
2:41 to play here, and about halfway through game 2, Illinois. So far, so good. The last minute 30 or so of this regulation period. No show. Over the middle, flip reset. Nothing there. Fighting Illinois offense. Another look there for Prism. Didn't go. Nebraska still within 1.
I think this team has been watching the football team, or at least that defense coordinator, but this defense is just doing a heck of a job. They are implementing the narrative that defense wins championships. Yes, they're down 1-0 right now, but you have to give them the hats off of some of the saves that they've been able to accomplish.
Yeah, they've gotten out of a couple of really difficult situations and keep this game now tied. Creed, who but Creed to get it started, Wolfie, 1-1.
Well, this happened at a great time. They said, hey, talking about the defense, they're looking over to the scoring opportunities. Threading the needle. Peaceful, not able to get there in time. But what a job there by Creed. Just not panic in the face of a defender.
2-minute warning. In game number 2, we remain now tied at 1-1. Illinois trying to find themselves a 4th goal in the night here. They got 3 in total in this series. And Wolfie, in Illinois, what's got to happen down the stretch to avoid a 2-0 deficit?
When they were put into a position like this, they just pushed too much past the midfield line of that last game, which really allowed them to really get hurt quickly with the long clears Nebraska's been able to accomplish. So, tighten up a little bit on the defensive side, allow for yourself to continue getting rotational demos the way you have been so far, and more importantly, make sure your off-ball pressure is at the most effective.
1:28 to play here, Illinois. Still fending off the Nebraska attacks here in front. This one threatening. Rebound not there in time. Noe late to the challenge. Minute 18 to go. He's got boost. Flip reset for Noe. Has help behind him. Peaceful taken wide to the corner. Last minute 15 to go. We're still tied at 1.
And this is where they know it all comes down to Illinois. And what could be a must-win game, Noe says no.
1 minute to go. And Noe is nickname in CCS. No nonsense, Noe. He takes over games in pivotal moments. Will be 50 seconds left. We're still tied. This series really exciting on the stretch of this one.
This is Nation. I always find a way sometimes to come in for some banger matchups, and I gotta say the schedule has been so great so far, and to what we've been able to really witness in terms of the schools, as Peaceful almost able to come out of his mind on that one.
A lot of great players and a lot of great games here in CCS Season 5. Osho 1-on-2, the double good. Osho 2-1, the Illini in front.
Osho showing up. Oh no, who it is besides him. The RLCS 24 challenger puts it down underneath the crossbar for the lead.
25 seconds. We'll see if Nebraska can get something magical down the stretch of the last 30, Wolfie. But Illinois, if you're fighting Illini here, you have to hold this lead.
Yeah, this is now the most crucial 20 seconds of this entire series. If you find a way to give this up and go to OT, I'm going to have to give it to Nebraska. That has to hurt. But final 10 seconds, the final attack here for the Cornhuskers does not look like it's going to come away clean.
They're going to go the whole field here. They're going to give an open net. Maybe, okay, they got control. No, we're promising backflips. They had a 2-on-1 the other way, Wolfie. Illinois, thank their lucky stars. It is 1-1 now.
Yeah, that one was one where it could potentially have gotten ugly, but it's the boys from Illinois able to hold on to the lead, but the offense played out of their mind. 12 shots, 4 for each, spreading the ball as well as they can, as Nebraska's offense weren't able to put up the same numbers, but everyone's still getting involved equally.
That they are. I mean, again, last game it was creating Noe offensively, and we saw 9 total saves out of this Nebraska defense, and again, promising on the bottom again, but he's doing his part. I mean, again, the offense was a little bit weaker in game 2, I'd say, but they still got a lot of production, but you got to put away the looks that you're creating.
Well, we cut ourselves now into a best of 3. And no, this is now where it kind of a reset. You're both tied at 1-1, and this is kind of a moment to really stake your claim into this series.
4:50 to go here in game number 3, and Illinois trying to find themselves a lead tonight. Nebraska trying to get this series back under their control, but it starts with a huge game 3 in a swing game.
Look how aggressive Peaceful is right now. He's just going away from his name, and I love it. Early on, trying to make something happen. Oshu not able to get bumped there. He's going to look for a teammate. Has the flip. Won't be enough to get back promising.
4:30 to play. Creed out towards the right wall. Nebraska trying to get their way through midfield. Creed fires on target. Osho left alone. Rebound not there in time. No, he left way too far out of the play. Now promising 1-on-2 for the captain. No good there either. 4:13, and Illinois will hold off again.
And you're seeing these midfield passes coming right back in here for Nebraska. I felt they didn't have enough space to do that in that last game. So, trying to get right back to the narrative. Creed off a demo may have some space to work with. Prism coming in right at the nick of time. This one will just be left here towards mid for Illinois.
First minute off the clock, and Cornhusker defense will be. It seems like they're still, facing a lot of pressured attacks from Illinois, but they're doing better at least finding the saves and transitioning, which they couldn't do with South Carolina. So they're at least being productive defensively, which is a good sign so far for Nebraska. Minute 30 into this one.
And Creed, last man back. This one needs to get there quickly. No, he can. Osho can.
That was almost saved too. Minute 30 off the clock. Illinois find a goal. Won the initial save, a double commit. Osho fires. Noe right there in Creed also, but barely about another half second too short of saving it.
This is where we're seeing the great defensive plays here so far from Nebraska, but now we're starting to see the pressure here from Illinois saying, all right, you get the first one. Can you get the second? You got the second. Can you get the third? And we're doing a great job of making sure we get pads to where we're like in game number 1. We're not boost starving and trying to get ourselves from something off of nothing.
2 minutes now almost off the clock here in totality. Nebraska still trail 1. They saw a lead for Illinois open up for a long time last game, but an open break on the was botched. Noe had an open net, Wolfie, and completely hooked it.
I don't believe in open nets, Nation. They are not real. They are placebo. You think they're there, but sometimes I don't know what it is, but there's something in that goal that does not allow it to be easy.
Not at all. And 2:46 to play, almost halfway through regulation. We're still neck and neck in a 1-goal game where Nebraska's trying to get back in front of this one. Illinois, again, they've lost 2 straight to Nebraska, 2-0 all time. It's the Cornhuskers over Illinois, but they're trying to find their first win in CCS over Nebraska tonight.
And I just haven't seen too many adjustments here for either team. They just seem so matched right now. But, Illinois, they kept the lead earlier. A heck of a job. This allows you to at least have a breath of fresh air to be able to breathe and say, hey, let's play our game. And they've been playing a heck of a job in terms of that.
2:10 on the clock to go just now after the half. And a kill from Peaceful going to open up a 2-on-1. Noe by his lonesome finds a key save here. 2 minutes to play, Wolfie. What's got to change for Nebraska down the final stretch?
Oh, I like what they're coming away with. One thing is potentially a couple more demos, especially off the first pass. After you give it up, go in there, because it's one where your teammate still doesn't have enough time to really get going. That pass comes in quickly, but then a defender gets right on him, taking away any possibility of a shot.
And at 30 left to go, last 90 ticks on the clock here. Creed starts an air dribble, immediately taken away by Osho. It's broken up, and again, these last 90 seconds need to be perfect. No, he fires. No good. A little wide right. Attempted to pass back to midfield is lost by Creed on the wall. Now Illinois back in control of possession.
That was a great job. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, yes, he did. Out of nowhere, Noe comes in.
And Nebraska able to equalize again. 1:16 to go. They get another late go-ahead goal. Will be 76 seconds left, though. Plenty of time for goal 2 in regulation before we see overtime.
I was about to say it's going to have to come out with an extraordinary goal, but Illinois, they got too aggressive. This is what put in the dagger in game number 1. Everybody leaving their side of the half, and it was just a long clear back into their net. Both
times these two have met, they saw Champions Field in CCS in Nebraska. 2-0 in Game 5 with Illinois so far in their CCS careers. Now Creed up top, going to look for a double here. Couldn't get back for a second touch. Osho trying to launch the clear. It's broken up by Noe. Pressure still deep in orange territory.
And this is now where you don't want to pressure on too much. Understanding you have OT in your back pocket. You've done a good job of really trusting your teammates here so far. For Illinois, in terms of, you cannot flinch right now. Go through the punches, bob and weave, get out of this heavyweight matchup, because 25 seconds remain. Will we stay in regulation, or we see overtime for the first time?
18 to go. Just don't get something up. It's off a dumb challenge here for Nebraska or Illinois. But the last 10 seconds, we'll see if someone at least gets a look down the stretch here.
A long clear will be taken away by Peaceful. Is going to have one more touch on it. Gives it up to a teammate. This is going to be kept up. Will it be enough? Still having a chance. Peaceful off the backboard. Quick pinch. No boost there for Prism. That's going to let it drop. OT awaits.
Overtime for the first time. Game number 3. Next goal is match advantage. Now promising. Off the overtime kickoff here. Trying to find a pass. It immediately broken up, though. Creed will take his turn off the ceiling. In control, back across, nothing there. Prism off the clear. Nebraska, another pass to promising, broken up. Peaceful 2-on-1. Creed by his lonesome. The save in the corner. It's made officially.
Oh, and I saw Noe go up for that, now trying to just get himself out. I'm glad he was able to get full boost. He would have been in a bad situation using everything he had left in the tank just to try to get up to that ball. There's a good clear here off the backboard. Osha's going to have a chance. Second attempt will be cleared away. I look forward pass, can't get on.
Peaceful up high here. 1-on-2 for the Peaceful. The flip ringside. It's good. Peaceful wins it in 3.
Just let him marinate. Just let him marinate. That was...
He didn't really use the flip reset. He did use it, but it didn't really do anything. It's like pop the ball like a tad bit higher to get over the defender. That was incredible.
Oh man, I had to just witness that for a second. H, take a moment, man. Sometimes you're just better in the moment. Like you said, you didn't even get the flick, but he got the goal. At the end of the day, the ball go through the net. Yes, it did. And Illinois now take a commanding 2-1 lead after a 2-1 win here. The defense right now for Nebraska has not been able to get to the same shape it was back in game number 1.
Not at all, but again, they still played very well.
They're playing great.
Defensively in game 2 and 3, but again, you got to score in those pivotal moments. In the last couple minutes here where your offense gives you a chance to win, but you got to put the shot away.
Like, we're still seeing some huge spectacular saves. It's just the second, third chance attempts. It's what's really hurting this team. It's where Illinois has been able to capitalize here so far. And we see it on screen, a couple of the replays, as I just realized I need to ready up. But for Illinois, you have played dominant. I think after game number 1, you kind of got that wake up call that you needed. You said, hey, we can't let the Cornhuskers come out here and really get the best of us. This is where we need to come out. We know who we are. And let's see if Prism can try to push this team forward. He's done a heck of a job really controlling the series, especially for Illinois.
Well, now game 4, Nebraska need a crucial and critical response, Wolfie. And they got to be efficient. In game number 4, their backs against the wall on an 0-2 night. We'll see if they can force game 5 for a third straight meeting with Illinois.
And this is where rivalries, however you want to call them, or what these two teams bring to the table, it's absolute skill. As Creed could have been a hair short, but it wasn't. What a save here. And that's the type of goal line defense we've continued to understand from this team.
First 30 seconds, Illinois, a couple great looks. Now Nebraska trying to create a look of their own here. It's promising no boost, so barely slow to that challenge. It just feels like in midfield, Nebraska is now getting beat really bad in terms of, Illinois taking control of advantage of these situations. The midfield is now what's creating a problem for Nebraska's defense to adjust.
Yeah, Illinois just seems comfortable now, where I would say at the beginning of the series, They kind of were just trying to see what would work, and it just didn't seem like they were coming out with much of a plan here. It felt like they were trying to just go out for individual skill, try to allow themselves to try to get some free wins against Nebraska, but they came and said, hey, it's not going to work here now, boys. We need to find a way to really give ourselves the edge, and you're seeing how aggressive they're coming in, even with that potential bump that was trying to be a demo, but this team's trying to work. They're trying to give themselves number advantage, but Nebraska, they needed the first goal if they're looking to win this one.
Yeah, and Peaceful again came alive for this series finally after the game-winning goal of last game. So now you got to deal with Peaceful, who's now online in this series. It's been a problem all night long. Nebraska's defense has to hold off here, and that it will. When the offense has to find a way to break through this pressure.
Oshu had the chance, can't pass by Creed. This will just fall gingerly into the corner, and Nebraska's gonna have time to just take a second. And this is where I'm going to say you don't have to rush this for either two teams. I know it's 0-0, and you may want to be the first one to score, but don't try to get outside yourself. Plan it out, work it out, and more importantly, execute. As a big long clear here, Creed off the backboard will not see the second touch, but we'll be able to pass this towards midfield. Won't be able to see too much of the defense now for Illinois. Continue to suffocate.
Peaceful on target denied. A big break up in midfield for promising there. It was beautiful out of the pre-jump there. Ocho in the backfield by itself. 2:45 to go. We're still tied at 0.
A big demo. Is that what they needed? Creed, the last man back, has done a great job in that position. One of the best goal savers we've seen here from Illinois. As that one enough to get it away. Was it a crossbar? Who knows? But a demo almost opened it up.
Half the game to go, still just sitting on a tied score currently, Wolfie. You just feel like at some point both these teams will at least score once in this game. I don't think one goal will be enough to win.
Well, we'll have to see. Peaceful says, I'm not with the peace signs. I'm going straight at the throats. Has been dominant, has been amazing, and has just been him.
2:11. Nebraska has what's left on the clock to equalize again. We'll see if they can get it on Creed. Off the kickoff here, Nebraska trying to score as fast as they can, but Illinois just right back in the Nebraska half, and Prism waits for the touch to be made here. And the Illinois offense will be starting to come alive and be a problem here in Game 4.
Yeah, this is where Nebraska, I think if they can find a way to get one, and Peaceful says none. 2 for 5. As he continues to shine here. This is my debut to seeing him, Nation, and I know you're used to seeing him, but Peaceful is nothing but that.
Peaceful's him, and what's crazy though is last season Illinois placed 10th in the Big Ten. They missed the Big Ten tournament and the CCS championships. It's 3-0. Peaceful leading the charge to a 3-1 victory at the minute 51 away.
The general on his cavalry says, everybody, my way is the right way. All right, this is, you can do no wrong when you're in the bag like he is right now.
Well, minute 51, Nebraska now need to find a way to create some positive momentum. Going into the last 2 minutes will be something has to come alive if you're the Cornhuskers.
I never like to say it's over till it's over, but I feel one more goal here for Illinois could potentially spell that out here in broad letters. It's promising off a pinch, won't be able to get much. That potentially goes in if it had a little more speed. I
would agree. Now Prism trying to put the game away. 4-0. 1:26 to go to lead to 4.
And Prism with Creed back. We're talking about it, Nation. They do a great job on the first touch, but the second touch, the third touch is when they haven't been able to get that save that they need. You saw it there. Great job of using the number advantage there.
1:23 to go. Prism off the ceiling. Missed opportunity there. Now Noe need to create a goal here. This possession has to result in a Nebraska goal for there to be a realistic chance.
Well, long clear going to continue eating up some clock. Promising. And try to keep it away. Peaceful cannot score there. The defense. We've seen it timelessly. But a goal sneaks in here in the last couple seconds.
I think that's going to do it. 1:02 left to go. Yeah. 5-0. I mean, I've seen crazier things, Wolfie, and I know you have as well, I'd assume. But again, 62 seconds for 5, and you need to go every 12 seconds. So I don't see it happening realistically. But if they can get 1 or 2 here very quickly, I mean, don't count them out. But they need a miracle at this point.
Looking back at that first game, they always say never, and it looks like no, he's out of here. But they say don't put the horse before the wagon, or the cart before the wagon. Well, I think the cart fell off. I think the wheels came off, and that's gonna be all she wrote here. Everyone's out of here. No, he's back. No, he's back.
We're back to the field. No, he came back into the game.
He did. He came back to the game, thankfully.
Oh, he is back. 48 to play. Nebraska will fall in 5 or 4, but it's still a solid win for Illinois nonetheless.
Well, you said on Nebraska, they went 0-3 last game. So, you take a game here, but I think this team feels they could have taken at least one more game in this series, or potentially at least stretch to game number 5. They're going to have to go to the drawing board and see what to change, what to be able to expect. But Illinois, after game number 1, never panic, says, we know what we are about. We're going to get it, as that one won't be able to find a clip.
Illinois going to go on to pick up a key quality victory in conference play here at Wolfie, and Peaceful came alive in the last 10 minutes of this series and led the charge and got the job done in 4 games.
Well, took them 4, but none too many. Illinois potential with the gentleman's sweep here, and this is where Illinois, they made some noise. You lose game 1, you come out, sweep the next 3 games. Peaceful did amazing. Prism did amazing. But Osho, he, in my opinion, he played great out here. Peaceful was able to put on some big shots, but the complement of these two, I feel, is a huge plus for this team.
I would agree. I mean, I think Nebraska, they'll turn it around at some point, I'm sure, but it's a good roster. They'll get it figured out. But Illinois, heck of performance. That was a lot of fun to watch, Wolfie. Thanks for coming out. We're going to go to break, and we can come back here in about 30 minutes. The CCS Invitational, a third place game, Grand Canyon takes on Iowa State.